Hey there, welcome to the Ask Broker Brent show here. It is Friday, September 28th, and it is officially Season 1, Episode 1. As promised, let's go over a first question, a question that I've been getting a lot lately, and that is, how is the market currently? Are we headed towards a downturn in real estate? Is a very typical question that I'm getting. A lot from sellers and a lot from buyers. So let's first look at the real estate market as a whole this year. This year it took off like a rocket right out of the gate, where inventory was extremely low. Lots of buyers out there that kind of missed the 2017 gate and went all the way into 2018 of spring. We're having multiple offers on real estate and bidding wars left and right. Come about June, July, we noticed a tipping point. I think obviously with the interest rates rising, we're having affordability issues where now folks are really struggling to afford a $600,000 home and that down payment that goes with that. So right around July, we saw kind of a tipping point where a lot of buyers left the market, especially those first-time home buyers. As you'll notice, real estate always follows the law of supply and demand. As supply increases, prices will decrease. As demand increases, you're going to see an increase in price and vice versa. So right now we've had a seasonal trend as well. Come the fall, winter time, real estate typically always dips down right around 3%, sometimes a little bit more, because people don't want to move during the fall. They don't want to move during the winter. School started, their kids are back in session, and we're coming into the holidays. And typically people just don't move during the holidays because they're settled in and they're with their families. However, what we've seen with supply is supply went from about 165 homes here in my market to well over 265 homes within the past 3 months. So that's a drastic increase in inventory. Why have we had a drastic increase in inventory? I think there's a couple things. I think the bigger reason is sellers are worried that the market's going to turn come 2019 and start to dip. They think that this may be the height and peak of the market. Historically, we just surpassed the highest numbers of 2007. However, if you factor in inflation and you factor in today's times, actually we're still a little bit below. 591,000 currently for the San Diego County is the median home price of a home. I think my estimation may be pretty close originally of the 2020 mark. 2022 probably being a really good time to buy some real estate at a low. But that being said here, I definitely think that we're headed towards a more neutral market. So if you look at supply and demand, supply's increased, demand has decreased, so we're seeing price drops left and right. I think the bigger factor of those price drops is sellers are sometimes a little bit unrealistic is what we've definitely been seeing. So unfortunately, because pending sales are so low, sometimes a broker or agent will take the listing even though it's way overpriced, and just anticipate dropping the price. That's going to hurt a seller in very dramatic ways. The first week is absolutely crucial to market time and to get the most for your home. So if we trickle in the buyers versus bring them all in at once, create a big demand, more of like a frenzy, create a sense of urgency with their offers and drive the price up, that's going to be a lot better than trickling them in and driving the price down. Especially once we hit about the 1 month marks, buyers start to think there's something wrong with the property. Why isn't this property sold? What's going on with it? So it will actually hurt sellers in the long run overpricing the property. So we're seeing that a lot is just simply sellers are overpricing the property. Once in a while they do get lucky. I have seen that as well, where a buyer will come in and either just misinformed or just fall in love with the property. They will overpay for the property, but that's pretty rare. So what do we anticipate this market to continue to do? Well, as interest rates rise, we're going to see more and more affordability issues. People are having a hard time coming up with this down payment. So what is that going to do for the next year or so? Well, with this tax increase, what we've seen is people have more money in their pockets. The wealth gap is getting a lot bigger. The people with money are making a lot more money, and the people, well, that are struggling even more. Inflation is rising like crazy, which is pretty much a guarantee that real estate's going to go up. If you look at the market, the rental market, there's nowhere to live. Rent prices are going up like crazy. Almost it feels like every day you turn around, there's just an increase in rental prices. Your gas is going up, your grocery bills are going up, population's going up, wages are going up, and there's nowhere to rent, there's nowhere to live. So as rental demand is very high right now, so that's going to drive your rental prices, and in turn it's going to actually end up forcing people to buy instead of rent, because typically in San Diego, the 6-year mark, it's almost a guarantee you're going to make out on buying versus renting almost every single time. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but in the long term, real estate always works. There's a couple good sayings out there, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. That's very typical, especially if you're going to be in San Diego for the long haul. So come 2019, I'm expecting a more neutral market. The buyers that we do have out there, they're strong buyers. They're your 20% down. They're your cash buyers. They're your what we call the upscaling or trading up buyers, meaning they have to sell a condo or whatever it may be and buy a bigger home. Their family is growing, so they have a lot of equity in their house and they're cashing in and buying bigger houses. With inventory rising, we're anticipating obviously prices to come down. So if you're a buyer in the market, keep that in mind, that there's not as many buyers as there was in 2018, and especially if you're a strong buyer. So there's a lot of negotiating going on. There's a lot of price drops going on, but ultimately the homes that are priced well in very high demand neighborhoods, they're selling quick. They're still selling in 3 weeks or less. And a neutral market, you're looking at about 5 months market time. So we're still a little bit ways away from that neutral market. However, we're definitely headed that way. I think that's about it, and this will conclude the first episode of Ask Broker Brent. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and on to the next.